Chapter 10, Part B, Question number 53. Which of the following is not an example of a patent defect? Shane's property has an extremely high water table which results in the basement flooding whenever there is a heavy rain. The backyard has water standing in pools in several spots. So the water standing in several spots, you can see it. It's visible. It's a patent, but we are looking for which is not patent. I mean, we are looking for latent. Basically, we are looking for hidden defects. So number 2, Maria's house is 65 years old and over the year the house has settled. So highlight settled. The living room floor slopes 8 centimeter over the 7 meter length of the room. So the house has sloped, which is visible. Basically, it's a patent defect. Third, Newman's house has a urea formaldehyde foam in part of the structure, which is a defect. So UFFI is a defect, and this is hidden because it is behind the drywall. So it is a latent defect. So third is the answer. Number 4, Michael's house is infested with termites. So termite is kind of an ant which eats wood, but their presence is only noticeable around the window frame where small piles of sawdust appear. So noticeable means which you can see. Anything you can see is patent. So the answer is third. And then we go to the question number 59 from there. Michael has entered a contract to sell his pre-1900 Victorian home to John. As with most houses of similar age, there is a small crack, so highlight small crack, in the foundation of the home due to settling. Michael is aware of the crack but had not thought it important enough to discuss with John. John had conducted a very rudimentary inspection of the home when the real estate agent had shown it to her. But she had not noticed the crack, even though it was plainly visible. So it was clearly visible. You can see with your naked eye. The crack is discovered by John 1 week before the completion date. So find a true statement. So basically that defect is a patent defect, and Michael, the real estate agent, has done nothing wrong by not disclosing it. So answer is number 1. Because when the buyer can see himself, the realtor doesn't need to tell him. And he is not responsible for that. So it's number 1. And then we go back to the question number 2. On May 3rd, Mary offered to buy Harvey's house and the offer was stated to be open for acceptance until 2 p.m. Which one of the following statement is false? So basically, the offer is opened until 2 p.m. and you have to find a false statement. For this, you need to know 4 R's. Number 1 R is called revocation. So revocation means cancellation before acceptance. So you can cancel a deal before you accept it. That means revocation. And the number 2 is a rescission. So rescission means cancellation, but this cancellation is after acceptance. For example, you have already made a deal. Now somehow, some reason you want to back up, but you can't back up like this. You have to go to the court. And then there you have to present your case, and then the judge makes a decision based on the facts. So basically bottom line, cancellation after acceptance is called rescission. And the third thing is ratification. So ratification means acceptance retroactively, means going backward. Going backward means, for example, you allow your teenage son to go to a pub and you tell him come back home at 12 a.m. but the son comes 7 a.m. in the morning. Now rather than being mad at him, you say okay, no problem, and you just ratified his mistake retroactively. Similarly, for example, if you work for a union and your company has given you a raise retroactively January 1st, 2005, $2 per hour. So now you're getting a hefty check. Retroactively means going backward. They have given you raise going backward. So basically acceptance afterward. So the ratified mean acceptance afterward, retroactively. And then we go to the question number, and then the number 4 is rectification. Rectification means correction. rectification means correction. They just use this word to confuse you in the exam. Basically, you need to know the rectification. And 5th is option agreement. Option agreement basically means, remember the example of, for example, I say I will sell my home for $200,000. Now somebody brings an offer for $200,000, but he gives me a $5,000 deposit as a consideration, and I get a 30-day time, and within 30 days